We begin today with the upcoming Silicon Valley Latino Leadership Summit, and with me today are the organizers of that great summit. We have Frank Carbajal, who is organizing this event. Also with us is Graciela, Tiscareno-Sato, and Margarita, Quihuis, here on Comunidad. Valle. Did I pronounce all the names correct? That's the first thing we want to make sure we get that right.
Not quite, but that's okay.
But go ahead and tell us so we can...
The last name is Quihuis.
Quihuis, so there you go. So, my apologies for that. Great event. Everybody's talking about this. Tell us what's happening, Frank.
Well, this idea came into fruition just a few months ago. I had the vision to bring the top leaders in the country to the Silicon Valley. Fortunately, a lot of the leaders live here in the Silicon Valley. And I partnered up with Hispanic Net because Hispanic Net is not only a visionary, but they help support young entrepreneurs and the future generation of leaders. So with that in mind, I thought, why not Sand Hill Road? Sand Hill Road is the venture capital mecca of the world. And it was a huge undertaking, but as I say, es tiempo, it is time.
And why did Hispanic Net decide this is a great opportunity for us to get involved?
Well, you know, our first experience with Frank was last year at our annual dinner. He was the keynote speaker, and what struck us about him was that, one, he took this great initiative in putting together his book on Latino leadership, and it's something that hadn't been done before. And part of the mission of Hispanic Net is opening, access to opportunity, access to capital. And one of the things that we realized is that it was important to create a community of Latino leaders in technology, industry, healthcare, and so on. And Frank had done such a good job of identifying these people who were leaders in their fields. So it seemed like the next logical step in our relationship with Frank to partner to make this summit happen.
And now is the time to register and get involved because it's going to sell out.
Exactly. And specifically, who should register? If you are a business professional, you should register because you will have insight into new customer retention strategies, Latino customer retention strategies, and access to Latino talent in the pipeline. So we believe that this summit is a great way to position your company to be successful in the fastest growing demographic in America. For entrepreneurs like myself, you should register because where else can you get access to venture capitalists? Right. And corporate executives and other entrepreneurs that can help you expand your business. For college students should go because where can they get access to corporate executives and venture capitalists and successful entrepreneurs? And really exposure for their business plans that they might already have in their head as college students. And also parents of students interested in business should go too because they'll be able to see what a lifetime of education and achievement can get them, and meet these successful people that Frank here has been able to line up.
So maybe if you're a manager somewhere and you aspire to become vice president, president, here's your chance to learn how you can.
That's exactly it. We have affinity groups throughout the Silicon Valley that will be present, diversity officers within these huge organizations such as Intel, Kaiser Permanente, Apple Computers, Cisco Systems. And one of the things that really drives me to get these individuals to the summit is that the percentage of Latinos that sit, for example, on Fortune 500 boardrooms is less than 2%. And one of the things about the U.S. and California in general, we're at 30% and growing of Latinos living in California. But in terms of education, as Grace had mentioned, we're lacking, and we're here to build that pipeline and really close the achievement gap. And with this leadership summit, they could be exposed to these leaders and gain insight because the common thread there is that all these folks have perseverance and they had determination to be where they're at.
Margarita, where's that pipeline now? Are we producing enough leaders, or is that why we're having the summit? Because
well, it's a mixed bag, to be perfectly honest, because we know that in terms of the Latino pipeline into higher education, it's more like a cocktail straw. It's pretty skinny. That said, I think that it is time to have a Latino leadership summit like this here in Silicon Valley because there are enough people who are outstanding in what they do. We're going to have people like Alicia Morga, who was, her law degrees from Stanford. She was a venture capitalist, and then she started her own company, and she's gotten over $15 million in funding. and she's in her 30s. There are other people there who have also been able to meet great success, and they're following the playbook that everyone who succeeds in Silicon Valley does. They go to school, they work hard, they start a venture, and that's how you make it here in Silicon Valley. So I think the important thing is to cast a spotlight on the people who are actually doing it. And as Frank and I were joking around earlier, instead of always talking about si se puede, because I always said, this indefinite future, someday we're going to do it. It's like, all right, already, we're doing it. There are people there who are doing it. They're hitting the ground running. And it's an opportunity to change the story about Latino leadership. And that's why I'm really excited about the summit. We're going to get all these people in this room. It's going to be an intimate setting. If you want to meet these people, it's a great venue to do that. It's on Sand Hill Road, which is ground zero for venture capital. And it's a way of saying we've arrived. We're here.
What an opportunity. You're a keynote speaker, Frank?
His name is Rafael Anchia. And Rafael Anchia is a person who I had the opportunity to meet, and he's in my next book, my next leadership book. And one of the things that I've learned from an individual who is in my book, his name's Richard Lessa, who's the founder of Hispanic Net, is that if you can't make it through the front door, keep pushing until you're in. And that's one of the things that I've learned from, he's a mentor of mine who really believed in me. And when I interviewed Rafael Anchia, I felt his presence, and I felt that he was a statesman, and I really believe that he could be the first Latino U.S.-born president. Wow. And he's my keynote speaker.
Wow. And you know what? If you can't make it through the front door, we got to learn how to pick the lock, because we're going to get in there somehow. Go ahead and Grace, give us how people can get a hold of registration material as we show the website on the screen.
Okay. Well, mark your calendars for May 15th. As Margarita said, it is at the Quadras Conference Center in Menlo Park on Sand Hill Road, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can register through estiempo.com or hispanic-net.org. And realize that registration will close May 7th. There will not be on-site registration, so don't be left out.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and good luck. Thank you for doing this for our leaders.
Thank you so much.
All right. And up next...